guys, welcome back to Mass Effect. Woohoo! Okay, so wait, I'm just waiting for my snotty cat to decide that he wants. No, actually, to those of you who watch me regularly, my cat will not stay in my room with me while I let's play unless he wants out of the room. But he's actually just rubbing on my legs for attention. That's okay. I can deal with that. Anyway, alright. So, I'm gonna get this Codex out of the way. As you can see, there's a shitload of shit to go through. I'm just gonna... So, okay. Born into a naval family, you spent your childhood on ships and stations. You moved from posting to posting as your parents were reassigned. You enlisted in the Alliance military yourself on the day you turned 18. You were on shore leave at Elysium when the first wave of the Skillian Blitz struck. A massive coalition force of slavers, crime syndicates, and Batarian warlords attacked the human colony, determined to wipe it out. You rallied the civilian inhabitants, leading them in their desperate fight to hold off the invaders. When enemy troops broke through the colony's defenses, you single-handedly held them off and sealed the breach. After hours of brutal fighting, reinforcements finally arrived and the enemy broke ranks and fled. Because of your actions, Elysium was saved and you are regarded throughout the Alliance as a true hero. So that is the story of Terra Shepherd. Alright, so, okay, so, sorry I have a long lifespan. I'm gonna try to summarize this. So they're more passive and diplomatic than most races because of their long life. They don't care if things don't pay off, I guess. Oh, okay, never mind. It says unfazed that some of their investments or decisions may not pay off for decades or centuries. Alright. Matriarchs can seem to make incomprehensible decisions, but their insight is evident when their carefully laid plans come to fruition. So, an unspoken policy of centrism. Okay. The Asari instinctively seek to maintain stable balances of economic, political, and military power. Traditionally, Asari spread their influence through cultural domination and intellectual superiority. They invite new species of advanced development to join the galactic community, knowing that their ideals and beliefs will inevitably influence the existing culture. Came late to the was dotted with loose confederacies of great republican cities. The closest earthly equivalent would be the ancient Mediterranean city-states. Since the Asari culture values consensus and accommodation, there was little I know that word, I'm just trying to find like important stuff that would give you more insight into what they're like. Communication over internet evolved into an electronic democracy. Sorry, have no politicians or elections, but a freewheeling, all-inclusive legislature that citizens can participate in at will. Policy debates take place at all hours of the day in official chat rooms and forums moderated by specially programmed virtual intelligences. Seriously? I actually never read that. Hold on one moment. My snotty cat decided he'd had enough. Alright, so anyway. Okay, so that's kind of really all you need to know. Okay, so Turians. I find them very interesting. So this one I'll probably take a little more time to explain. So, they have personal desires, but their instinct is to equate the self with the group and set aside personal desires for the good of all. So you can kind of see where Garrus is coming from already. Okay, so Turians are taught to have a strong sense of personal accountability, the Turian honor that other races find so remarkable. Turians are taught to own every decision they make, good or ill. The worst sin they can make in the eyes of their people is to lie about their own actions. Turians who murder will try to get away with it, but if directly questioned, most will confess the crime. Turians have a strong inclination toward public service and self-sacrifice, so they tend to be poor entrepreneurs. Blah, blah, blah. To compensate, they accepted the mercantile, I hope I said that right, Volus, as a client race offering protection in exchange for their fiscal expertise. The Turian military is the center of their society. It is not just an armed force, it is an all-encompassing public works organization. The military police are also the civic police. The fire brigades serve the civilian population as well as military facilities. The Corps of Engineers builds and maintains spaceports, schools, water purification plants, and power stations. The Merchant Marine ensures that all worlds get needed resources. By the way, I just had some Starbucks like 15 minutes ago, so I am talking like a Solarian for a good reason. That being very fast. Okay. Although they lack the brutality of the Krogan, the skill of the Asari, and the virtuosity of the humans, the Turian military has formidable discipline. Officers and NCOs are lifers with years of field experience. Enlisted personnel are thoroughly trained and stay calm under fire. Turian units don't break. Even if their entire line collapses, they fall back in order, sending ambushes as they go. A popular saying goes, you will only see Turian's back once he's dead. Boot camp begins on the 15th birthday. Soldiers receive a year of training before being assigned to a field unit. Officers train for even longer. Most serve until the age of 30, at which point they become part of the reserves. Even if they suffer injuries preventing frontline service, most do support work behind the lines. Biotics are uncommon. While admired for their exacting skills, biotics motives are not always fully trusted by the common soldier. The Turians prefer to assign their biotics to specialist teams called cabals, or sabals. Either way, that sounds funny. Okay. Or could be the caffeine. Okay, command and control is decentralized and flexible. Individual squads can call for artillery and air support. They make extensive use for combat drones for light duties and practice combined arms. Infantry operates with armor supported by overhead gunships. Strategically, they are methodical and patient, and dislike risky operations. Tradition is important. Each legion has a full-time staff of historians who chronicle its battle honors in detail. The oldest have records dating back to the Turian Iron Age. If a legion is destroyed in battle, it is reconstituted rather than replaced. The Turians recruit auxiliary units from conquered or absorbed minor races. Auxiliaries are generally light infantry or armored cavalry units that screen and support the main Turian formations. At the conclusion of their service in the auxiliaries, recruits are granted Turian citizenship. Apparently, caffeine makes me unable to talk, too. At about the time the Solarians and Asari were forming the Council, the Turians were embroiled in a bitter civil war. The Unification War, as it was later named, began with hostilities between the colonies furthest from the Turian homeworld, Palavan. I don't know how you pronounce it, honestly. Palavan, maybe? Palavan? That could work. Okay. These colonies are run by local chieftains? I don't know how to say that word. Many of whom had distanced themselves from the hierarchy. Without the galvanizing influence of the government, the colonies became increasingly isolated and xenophobic. Colonists began wearing emblems or facial markings to differentiate themselves from members of other colonies, and open hostilities became common. When war finally broke out, the hierarchy maintained strict diplomacy and refused to get involved. After several years of fighting, less than a dozen factions remained, and the hierarchy finally intervened. By that time, the chieftains... hate that word, I don't know how to say it. were too weak to resist. They were forced to put an end to fighting and renew their allegiance to the hierarchy. Though peace was restored, it took several decades for the animosity between colonists to fade completely. To this day, most Turians still wear the facial markings of their home colonies. As a point of interest, the Turian term barefaced refers to one who is beguiling or not be trusted. It is also a slang term for politicians. Okay, so I read more about Turians and like specifically because I find them interesting. Not just Garrus, but like Turians in general. I mean, they're kind of like human-hating assholes, but they're interesting. Alright, so you have the beacon. Oh, this is just talking specifically about the beacon that we already know about. Okay, we already know about that. Cipher. So the cipher, yeah, the cipher is basically, I don't know what you would call it. I don't really know what to call a cipher, except you need it to understand the visions that Shepherd got from the beacon. So that's kind of really all that really is. Okay, so these are all of our, well, okay, you guys know enough about that. All you need to know is that the Krogan, after they were used basically for the Rachni War, they were like roar rebellion against the Turians. I think the Turians, right? The Turians were the ones who were kind of using them. Wait. Oh no, I guess this is Solarians, right? No. Because it just said the it just said the Turians. Where was that? Damn it. The war would have been lost if not for the first contact with the Turians, who responded to Krogan threats with a prompt declaration of war. Being on the far side of Krogan space from the Council, the Turians advanced rapidly into lightly defended Krogan rear areas. The Krogan responded by dropping space stations and asteroids on Turian colonies. 3 worlds were rendered completely uninhabitable. Yeah, well, that sounds about Krogan-like. This was precisely the wrong approach to take with the Turians. Each is first and foremost a public servant, willing to risk his life to protect his comrades. Rather than increasing public war weariness, Krogan tactics stiffened Turian resolve. The arrival of Turian task force saved many worlds from the warlords' marauding fleets, but it took development of the genophage bioweapon to end the war. There were decades of unrest afterwards. Rogue warlords and holdout groups of insurgents refused to surrender or disappeared into the frontier systems to become pirates. So, I guess I actually didn't know that, or at least I wasn't aware of that the Turians weren't even part of the council or anything until then. At least that's what they made it sound like, that the first contact with the Turians. Okay, so Quarians, who cares about their economy and government? Migrant fleet is basically like this giant, well, I mean, flotilla is what they call it. There's a big flotilla, and then there's like thousands of ships that, you know, fly alongside it, and each of them is like home to, I don't know, probably at least thousands of Quarians, and she kind of explained most of it, that, you know, there's a lot of crowding and not a lot of resources, so yada yada yada. While some ships enjoy dedicated cabins with full privacy and sanitary facilities, many more are former freighters whose cargo bays and containers are pressurized and divided into family spaces using simple metal cubicle bulkheads. The Quarians live in these austere spaces with colorful quilts and tapestries, which also help muffle sound. So, yeah. Pilgrimage, you heard about her pilgrimage. Okay, so... There's 6 divisions of the CSEC here, and let's see. Sounds like Garrus was an investigation. With maybe some special response. Okay, well, anyway, you know what CSEC is. There's the ring. Okay, good enough. Whatever. We don't really care about that. Okay, so humanity has encountered many galactic species. Wars have been few, but mistrust is rife. Politically, the Alliance is the peaceful trade partner of the Turians. As a practical matter, however, there is simmering antagonism and bigotry between both populations over the First Contact War of 2157. The Alliance enjoys good relations with the Asari, though many privately believe that the Matriarchs are aristocratic and overcautious. Though humans know better than to unconditionally trust any Solarian, their shared restless, reckless ways make them natural allies against the conservative Turians and Asari. The Krogan have no unified government, but individuals are generally treated as potential criminals, a reputation most Krogan enjoy living down to. The Alliance has no formal contact with the Quarians. Their migrant fleet has not yet passed through any human-settled system. The Batarians are rivals for control of the Skyllian Verge. They severed their treaties with the Citadel to prosecute a colonial conflict against the Alliance. Officially, there is no war, but neither is there any peace. Dun dun dun! Okay, geological survey. I don't think we really need that. Military jargon. I don't think we really need to go through that. Not really. Not necessary. So this is what N7 is. So it's, okay, the Alliance Military Vocational Code System classifies the clear career path of all serving personnel. The MVC consists of 1 letter and 1 number. Soldiers' MVC indicates proficiency, not rank. The letter notes career path. The number indicates the level of experience as is indicated by service record, technical scores, and commendations. All 26 letters are used, and all numbers run from 1 to 7. N is the letter code for Special Forces personnel. So that's what we are. We're at really high skill. Wait, the number is skill, right? Number indicates the level of I can't talk. Level of experience. Okay, so here's a little timeline. Okay, so 2069, Armstrong Outpost at Shackleton Crater becomes the first human settlement on Luna. It is formally founded on July 24,